Ah, Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. Do you know this is where the U.S. Constitution was signed? It was also the city of the first U.S. Mint, first zoo, first hospital, and generally really shitty drivers. Haha, just kidding. No, not really. I'm here speaking to a few people who have been in the wine business either a long time or are just getting into the business. We have people in restaurants, retail, and on the distributor side. My first question to them was, what got you into the wine business in the first place? What got you into wine in general? And here are their answers.
So I am Jill Weber. I am the owner of Jet Wine Bar, Rex at the Royal, which is where we are, and Chardonnays, which is a Mexican restaurant. I am also an archaeologist, which is when and where I fell in love with wine. So it was the romance. I was in Turkey as a 21-year-old, and I was in a hotel room looking across at people drinking a wonderful, beautiful glass of Turkish rosé, and I saw it, and I just thought, I need to do this. So I did, and I started drinking wine. From then on, I was hooked. I mean, wine is social. Wine has so much culture. It's something you can do with everyone. There's so many things to choose from. It's expensive, it's inexpensive, and everything in between, red, white, rosé, orange. If you like history, which I do, then you can look into these ancient techniques. It's such a wonderful, my God, multifaceted drink.
I have worked in a private golf club for 12 years now. So even before I was able to drink, I got a lot of education from the membership, from our different distributors, from people higher up than me in this job. And so that's kind of what really got me into it. And then, being of age, being able to finally try all the things that I've heard so much about the last few years and finally being able to do that and getting myself, into that world.
So what do you like about wine? What do you think wine offers that, say, like a canned cocktail doesn't necessarily deliver?
I think it's slower than a canned cocktail. I think,
I like that.
when you're enjoying a glass of wine, you pour it to enjoy it. A canned cocktail, I think, you're kind of just drinking to drink. Wine, you're drinking to enjoy, to have an experience and to, get all those different flavors. And
Hi, I'm Mark Watson. I'm a sales rep in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I've been selling wine for 9 years now. Before that, I came from restaurants. I first went to culinary school, wanted to be a chef during my college years. During culinary school, we took a trip to Napa, and that is where I fell in love with wine. We went from vineyard to vineyard, and I thought, well, this is silly. Why would I ever want to spend my days in a kitchen when I could be in the front of the restaurant selling wine and pairing it with food?
That's a good way to start.
And that's really what got me into it. So
I asked some of them, what do you consider to be a good wine? What do you consider to be a great wine? And also, what goes with a Philly cheesesteak anyway?
How you doing? My name is Brandon Murray, and my favorite wine is sangria. I like wine. I got into drinking sangria with my one of my family members. They actually introduced me to sangria. I love it. It's delicious.
So a good wine to me is a Vernaccia di San Gimignano. One, I love visiting San Gimignano. But two, the Vernaccia, it's a super good fresh wine, but it's crazy. It can age, and you have these 2, 4, 5, 10-year-old Vernaccias, and it's like, wow, this is so deep. It just changed completely for me. I am very, very into ancient world wines. I love Georgian wines. There is a producer called Baya, and Baya's makes these Stoliquori, which is a white grape that's really, really specific to the western part of Georgia, the Republic of. I adore it. It's made in just lightly quevried, which is the underground amphora, and so it's got brightness, it's got freshness, but it's a grape that nobody really has, and so it's like, wow, look at this. It's so different. It's so delicious. I am a huge fan of kind of unusual grapes from everywhere, but my best friend is from Torino, and so he and I would go wine tasting everywhere. So Pilla Verga just is something, it's hard to find. It's something I associate with my friend, even though he'd probably say, he wants a Barolo all the time. Whatever. I want a Pilla Verga because it can be in so many different situations. It's lighter, it's crunchy. It's a crazy crunchy. When people say crunchy, you think, what the heck is that? No. Try a Pilla Verga and it's crunchy.
Ooh, a good wine is the rosé from the south of France, the Bailer, the Charles Bieler from Provence.
Oh.
That. And my absolute favorite, I'm very fond of the New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc from Marlborough.
Well, a good wine, as my boss would say, is a wine that sells. Okay. A great a great wine is a wine that makes people say, "Oh, wow." And then then there's the wines of exception that we're buying for gifts, that we want people to be dazzled by what they are. And so for examples of that, all right, if we want a good wine, something, I always look for gifts of price, a good return on investment, shall we say.
Ooh, I
to
like
be
that.
So trite.
Gift
yes,
of
the
price.
ROI. So the ROI is something that gives you hedonistic pleasure, which I'm all about that, satisfaction, and it tastes really good no matter what you're doing with it. So let's see, if I'm drinking a white today, one of my really happy little things is called Chasing Conejos. Yes, Chasing Conejos. It's from Spain. It's actually low in alcohol. It's only 11.5%, which means
from Spain.
which means it's a true porch pounder. It's bright, it's fresh, and it's made from a grape that you don't see that often called Arienne, usually in a blend of cava.
As much as some people don't love Chardonnays, I find like a California Chard would be a really cool pairing. You have a greasy cheesesteak, you have a nice roll with it, and the butteriness of a California Chard and some of the oakiness would go really cool with the Philly cheesesteak. I also find that Italian reds would pair really well. Primitivo, a Sangiovese, something with a little bit of fruit to it, I think would pair really well with the nice onions and peppers and cheese and everything on there. One of my favorite things, which is kind of different, I think a champagne pairs really well with the Philly cheesesteak.
Okay, interesting.
You get some of the more yeasty champagnes. I think it's a kind of a cool combo to pair with the Philly cheesesteak. And the bubbles are, kind of refreshing in between each bite, lightens you up a little bit. But the champagne specific region, just because of some of the more yeasty notes and toasted notes that would go with it.
Okay, so welcome to Stick It Up Your Glass. My name is Anne. It's my dog Blue. Bruno's sitting over there. He smells the Philly cheesesteak. So per Mark Watson's suggestion in Philadelphia, I went out and bought a Philly cheesesteak, and I'm pairing it with the 3 buttery Chardonnays that he kind of recommended. So this is the black box Chardonnay. You can find this in most stores in most states, which is why I recommend it. I hate it when somebody recommends something and there's no way I can ever buy it. This is something, if you've never started out in drinking wine, you kind of want to get into it, this is a good place to start. It's not expensive. You can experiment. They have all sorts of different varietals that they sell. And then you've got the Chateau Ste. Michelle Chardonnay. You're going to find this in a lot of stores, $12, $13. I used to sell Kendall Jackson Chardonnay, kind of the same vein, a little bit different styles, different territories, similar price points. That would come out to be roughly, under $3 a glass. You'll get about 5 glasses and a bottle of wine. And then the Knightsbridge West Block Chardonnay, I sell this wine, so I have this to present tomorrow. I'm using a Coravin, which means that this will stay good for, a couple of weeks, actually, if I wanted it to. Okay, so the first wine let's try is the black box. I mean, definitely buttery. Okay, not bad. I have literally never had this wine before in my life. All right, Chateau Ste. Michelle. And I love this little Coravin. The capsules are expensive though. You can get about a 6-pack for $55. So if you really only want to have a glass or 2 of wine, this is a great way to experiment with a lot of different bottles, save them for a period of time. The initial investment though, this is around $200-300. So once you really get into this wine journey and you want to spend a little bit of money and you want to have the ability to open up wine and keep a few different bottles on hand, great. Okay, nice. So that's $12 a bottle. So like I said, this, if you get 5 glasses out of it, you're looking at under $3 And then the West Block Chardonnays, I had mentioned, definitely high end. If you got a little bit more experience, you want to spend some money on something for a high-end occasion, something to put in your cellar to hold on to for 10 years, this would be the way to go. And I would say, you know, definitely kind of over-delivering for a Philly cheesesteak, but I mean, why not? Oh, so good. Makes me want a nice piece of brie. Okay, so 3 wines, 3 different price points, 3 different availabilities. I hope you liked today's edition of Stick It Up Your Glass. You can find us on Instagram at Stick It Up Your Glass. You can find us on Facebook at Stick It Up Your Glass. And you can find us on Threads at Stick It Up Your Glass. Have a great day.